What's going on, boys and girls? We're going to do a recipe today. You know, I'll eat some pickled pig's feet sometimes. Now, before you start to get disgusted and turn away from this, of course, now, if you just can't get past the pickled pig's feet, then just turn away from this video because you ain't going to like this video. But I've been eating pig's feet all my life. But I bought some at the grocery store the other day, and I usually buy the big giant jar of them that has about maybe 10 of them in there. They're already pickled. Well, these things are like 25 bucks for a jar of them. And I'm like, well, man, I could probably make my own and they'll probably taste better. So this is a video comparison and contrast of pickled pig's feet store-bought way and pickled pig's feet Tracy's way. Let's see if you like it. All right, guys, we got a big old mess of things. Now here are the pig's feet that I bought. Of course, a couple of them have been eaten already. They're already in their little brine and their juice, and they're cooked, cured, bone in. And there's some other companies that make that as well. Now we're gonna start off with, and the only reason I'm using pig ears, guys, is because we're gonna put these in a pressure cook them, and we're gonna can these things for longevity. So we got our pig's feet there. We got some pig's ears for fillers because we can cut those up. We got several packages of them. And we're probably going to end up making maybe for the price of, now the pig ears were actually more than the pig feet. These things were $11.20, which they used to be dirt cheap back in the day. Pig's feet, they were like $5, as you can see right there. $5. And we got 1, 2, 3 packs. So that's $15. $15 plus another 11 is 26 bucks. And I'm probably going to end up getting way more than was in this jar right here. So I think it'll be worth it. So, a lot of this is going to go into pickling brine. Some of it's going to be chopped and going to go actually in the pig's feet themselves. So the first thing we want to do is wash everything, and we're going to boil everything for about an hour. We don't want to cook this. We don't want to cook this all the way through initially. We just want to cook it because if you cook them like you cook traditional pig feet, you're going to end up with really fall off the bone pig feet, which they would probably taste good, but I want these things to go in the jar kind of like these right here. So we'll go ahead and get them washed and we'll start to boil them. Alrighty, guys, we got the pig ears and the pig feet all nice and washed. We got us a pot of water over here boiling. We're going to add some spices to it. Now, a lot of these spices, again, are going to go into the actual pickling brine. But in order to cook, which you're going to cook these for about an hour or so. So you're going to still use some vinegar, maybe a little bit of some Tony Chachere's and a little bit of the garlic powder and the onion powder. But we're really going to season the pickling brine itself. All right, we're going to add an initial 2 tablespoons of Tony Chachere's, 1 tablespoon each of the garlic powder, onion powder, and the mustard powder. We're also going to do 1 cup of the apple cider vinegar. Now, when we make our pickling brine, we're not going to use the apple cider vinegar. Damn, I can't talk. Although you could. We're going to use regular distilled white vinegar for the actual pickling brine. Alrighty, I just put the vinegar in there. We're going to add our spices here just so you guys can see. We're going to bring that up to a boil. Give it a little bit of a stir here, guys. Now, any other time, if you were just cooking these to eat, any other time, you let these things cook till they fall off the bone, which is about 3 or 4 hours. But we're not trying to achieve that level right now. So we'll come back. Again, when they cook for about an hour or so, we're going to stop the cooking process and going to put them off to the side. Alrighty, guys, it's been about an hour, and I want to stop these things from cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out of here and see that we don't want them to cook too much. Take them out and put them in some ice down water here. I mean, they're not tender by any means, so we're going to do that. Ooh. So we're going to ice it down there. All right, now the only reason I'm doing it this way is because I got to go back to work, and I don't want to leave these things in the boiling because they'll cook some more. And you see how they're already starting to come apart like this right here. So by the time I get back this afternoon, they should be nice and cooled down. And then we're going to do another boil on them, guys. And then hopefully they're not falling apart because you still want them to have this kind of texture right here, you know, where at least you'll be able to make out that it's a pig's foot, you know, even though it maybe sound like it's a disgusting thing that we're doing here. These are going to be really, really good, guys. Now, they're not going to look like your classic pig's feet that you see in the jar, because those have been what's it called, processed or something, smoked first, and so they're done a little bit differently. These are just going to taste better. Alrighty, guys, so we've rinsed off our pig feet and our pig ears. Now, this is the water that we had it in. We're not going to use this over, so we're going to discard this. Now, I went to work, so this stuff is all cool now, because that was about 5 hours ago that I did this right here. So now we're going to make a totally different brine for this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And again, just discard of this right here, and you're going to make a totally new brine. Alrighty, so now we're going to use some white distilled vinegar, and we've got about 8 cups of white distilled vinegar in there, and we're going to put which is about 64 ounces, and we're going to put a gallon of just regular water in there with it. And we'll come back here in a second. All right, now we're going to use a half a cup of sugar. I'm sorry, half a cup of salt. And we're using kosher salt, guys. That's coarse kosher salt. We're going to use about 1/4 cup of sugar, and that is cane sugar, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder. I'm going to add that to there. We're going to put in some regular garlic. That's about 3 tablespoons of garlic. We're going to put in a whole onion. And then we're going to put in some pickling spice, which is this right here. But we're going to put this in a bag so we don't have all this stuff floating around. We're also going to put some mustard seed in there as well, too. A little bit of mustard powder. That's 6 of one, half dozen the other. And we're going to put some organic peppercorns and some Mrs. Dash extra spicy seasoning. But all that's going to be in a little bag, so it's not just kind of floating around. Alrighty, so what we basically did, we put about 3 tablespoons of this pickling spice in here, a tablespoon of our extra spicy Mrs. Dash, about a tablespoon of the peppercorns, and then we're going to also put in about maybe a teaspoonful of cayenne pepper. And then we're gonna boil this for a little while, about 30 minutes, let it come to a boil, and then we're gonna add our pig feet to it. Alrighty, we're just going to drop our bag in there and let that thing kind of soak in. And that way you don't have to do it this way, guys, but that way you don't have all those seeds and stuff floating in there. Now, also, this bag has 2 bay leaves in there, so you got to have some bay leaves, because that gives it a lot of flavor. And just kind of give it a little bit of a stir to help dissolve it. Again, we're going to bring that to a boil for about 30 minutes. And then we're going to add our pig's feet and our pig ears. All right, so we let those simmer for about 30 minutes. That was just the fluid, the liquid with just the seasonings in it. Now we've added our pig's feet and our pig's ears in there. We're going to let that boil for about an hour. All righty, guys. They cook for about an hour. And this is kind of how you want them to look. You don't want them to fall apart. I want them to have a little bit of skin on them. So we're going to put these in the jars. The ears are nice and tender. Heck, I want to eat some of it now, but maybe not. We're gonna pickle these. We said we were going to pickle them. So that's what we're going to do. So you're only going to probably be able to get 2 of them in each one of these jars, guys. So I'm not going to show you the tedious process, but all I'm doing is grabbing them and putting them in the jar. And I'll show you how to do one of them. Go in there like that, and then we'll grab another one. Go in there just like that. If you can get some of the bones off, you can do that as well too. And then the space that's in between, we're going to pack that with the ears. So I wanted to make sure I got a pig foot in each jar. Some of them have 2, some of them will have 1, and then we're going to fill the rest of them up with the ears. Alrighty, so now we've got them all packed here, and we're just going to add some of the brine in there. And I can tell you guys, they taste good like they are right now. We can let these sit in the brine overnight, and you can eat these things, you know, in about 5 to 7 days or so, just by putting them in the refrigerator. But your blood pressure and your heart rate and everything will probably be sky high. So we're gonna can these in a pressure canner so that we can eat them, you know, just over a period of time. All right, and all we're gonna do is just take some of the brine in here, and we want to have about, for pressure canning, we want to have about an inch of head space. So about like that, just so that you can allow for expansion. And we're going to do all of them like that. Alrighty, once you get them filled, you want to make sure that you have cleaned around the edges of these jars, because if you don't, your lids are not going to seal very well. So make sure that you they're hot too, guys. Just make sure that you clean around here, each one of them. And you want to make sure that your lids and your rings are sterilized. You know, I usually put mine in some hot water. But this is real important right here. So we'll come back. So we're going to take one of our lids, just use one of these little magnetic things here. Put it up there. Get your ring here. And again, I'm getting these out of hot water, so they're pretty hot. And you're just going to close these hand tight. And they're hot, guys, so be careful. Close them till they're hand tight. And then we're going to do all of them like that. Ouch, that hurt. Alrighty, so now we're going to load the pressure cooker. And we're going to pressurize these things, usually for about 11 minutes. At 11 minutes at a certain amount of pressure. I'm sorry, guys. Not 11 minutes. At 11 pounds of pressure, and you're going to process them for about 90 minutes. Not 11 minutes. You want these things to be used for long-term use. Alrighty, so we're loading the pressure canner. We've got about 3 quarts of water down in the very bottom of that right there. And we got the heat on high, and we're going to let the pressure start to build up once we put the lid on. Also to this water, guys, so that you don't get a whole lot of staining, it might be a good idea to add you a couple of tablespoons of white vinegar. Okay, guys, I should have included you in this. What I did is I brought the contents. You put about 3 quarts of water in the pressure canner. I brought the contents to a boil. This is the little vent right here, and you let it start to steam. You got to let it build up that steam to a moderate level, not just coming out crazy, but to a moderate level. If it starts coming out crazy, you lower your heat. And then once it does that for about 10 minutes, you put your regulator on it, which is this thing right here. The fact that All right, guys, I'm probably going to have to make another video on how to use the pressure canner. But basically what I did, you put about 3 quarts of water inside of the pressure canner. You bring it up to a boil. You let it vent out of here. That's sort of like a relief valve right there. Let it vent out of there moderately for about 10 minutes. And then once it does that, you'll notice that this thing in the back will go up once you put the pressure regulator, which is this black thing here, over that vent right there. And then you'll start to see your pressure going up on your valve right here. Now we want these pig feet to cook at 11 pounds of pressure. So once it gets up to 11, we want to start lowering our heat on it so it can stay at 11 pounds of pressure. And then you want to do that for about 90 minutes. And then at the end of 90 minutes, you turn the heat off and you just let it come down naturally by itself. Again, I'm probably going to have to just make a video on how to use the pressure cooker. I kind of missed it this time just because I'm actually using a different camera now than I was using before. And I kind of missed out on it. So I've used a pressure canner. I haven't used a Presto pressure canner like this before, but I used one before. And you just got to be careful and not let your pressures get away from you. So again, we're just watching that and waiting for it to go up. And it hadn't taken very long for it to go up now. All right, guys, when you start getting into about 9 pounds, you want to go ahead and start lowering your heat a little bit. When it's 2 pounds from 11 pounds, go ahead and lower it a little bit, but you don't start timing it until that thing actually reaches 11. So we're going to lower the temperature just a little bit. Now, if you see that it's not going to 11 after you lower it, you may have to raise it a little bit because it's got to stay on that 11 and it's got to stay up there steady. Alrighty, I had to play around with it a little bit, but it's right there at 11. I took it down a little bit, but it still went up to about 12 or 13. So that's maintaining it right there at about 11, guys. And I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes to make sure it stays there. My stove is set right there on, that's kind of medium low. So we're going to see if that stays where that is supposed to stay. And if it does, we're going to keep it right there. Alrighty, it's been 90 minutes, y'all. We're gonna turn the heat off. You can take it directly off the heat if you want to. And we're gonna let this thing depressurize by itself. You're not gonna touch it. You're not gonna move nothing. Just get the heck away from it and come back and check on it later. You will know that the pressure is down because this little thing right here will be down. This pressure gauge will be down. It won't be making any kind of hissing noises and things like that. So when all that has happened, then we can unscrew the lid and check and make sure that our lids on our pig feet are sealed. We're gonna put them up for about just a couple of days or so, and let all those juices get into them. Guys, I can already tell you, they taste good. I've tasted them already. They tasted good before I put them in this canner, so I know they're gonna taste good as pickled pig feet. Alrighty, guys, the temperatures have gone down. See that thing back in the back? It's down as well, so the pressure should be normal. So we're going to take, ideally, now this thing started depressurizing last night at about 10 o'clock. So I went to bed, so I let it depressurize by itself. But ideally, once all the pressure goes down, you remove this right here. And, no pressure, no steam or anything should be coming out of it at that point in time. And then you let it rest for about 10 minutes. But we can just open this thing and check our jars. And there we go, y'all. The jars are sealed, but they're still warm. So we're going to let them cool off a little bit. Let them sit there for about maybe a week or so. Then we're going to taste these things. And I know they're going to taste good. So it's a long and drawn out process, but it's probably going to be worth every bit of it. So you guys have a great day. Peace. Alright, guys, here is the true test. We're going to be comparing the regular pickled pig's feet, and these right here are Big John. There's different companies that make these, and then here is Tracy's pig feet and pig ears. Now I've had this in the refrigerator. I said to put it in the refrigerator for just a couple of days so it could kind of marinate. Of course, when you do that, because it's got fat in there, it kind of congeals. So I'm not going to eat a whole one, guys, because I just don't want to be that full from eating pig feet and have my blood pressure all sky high. So I'm just going to take a portion of the pickled pig feet, pig's foot, and I'm going to take a portion of my pig foot, and we're going to see the comparison. And you know what the comparison is? This one's going to taste better because it's homemade. Most homemade stuff tastes better. So we're going to see, though. All right. So I threw it in the microwave for about 20 seconds or so. Just, you see it's got all that liquid in there. So we're going to taste the regular one. This is the regular one. It's pink, so it's processed. I know you only can see the top of my head, but you want to see me eating it. And it is good. I mean, pickled pig feet are good. If you like pickled pig feet, they're really good. Got a little bit of crunch to it. It tastes good. There's nothing wrong with that. Now we're gonna make sure we get a foot here. Let's see, we got a foot in here. Yeah, this is a portion. Actually, this is a portion of the ear, y'all. It looks like. Man, you can't beat it. And these are the ears right here. Man, I gotta get So I know if the ears taste this good. I got to get the feet because I said I was going to do the feet. I didn't realize I had. And that's all I got in here is an ear. So we're going to pause it just a second so I can get a foot in there. All right, so we took one of the feet out. Now this has got a bone in it here. Like I said, the ears already taste good, y'all. The bones are, that's good. That is delicious, y'all. Now, because I cooked these right here, the bones in this pig foot, they're soft. Now, this is some of the skin from the pig foot. I know this is probably disgusting some people, but delicious. It beats this head over heels. And guess what? I made 7 jars of them. And see, they're preserved, so they can sit out on the shelf, or you can put them in the refrigerator. You're going to have to warm them up, man. If you put these things in the refrigerator, you're going to have to warm them up. Just so that you're not getting so much of the oil on it. So, the experiment was good. The actual pig ears, y'all, the pig ears are better than the pig feet. So guys, it's long and drawn out. I think it's worth every minute that you spent doing it. But I think you'll like it. And maybe it'll keep you from having to go into the store. Or maybe you're following hard times or something and you don't want to go buy no pickled pig feet. Because these are like 25 bucks. I paid about the same amount for the, well, how many was it? 8 feet here, about the same amount. All I had to add to it was vinegar. I had the seasoning, which I had the vinegar. I had to buy no more vinegar. I had all that stuff here. So if you want to try it, be a little bit adventurous, try you some pickled pig's feet and some pickled pig's ears. You'll like it. And again, some of y'all probably don't like it. You know, like they ain't going to try it. Don't knock it till you try it, guys. It was really good. It was really good. So thank you for watching this video. I'm going to have a description of this whole video. This part right here is just going to be separate right here because I wanted to show somebody just me eating the pig's feet. But I'm going to have the video, and it's going to be kind of messed up because I got it on 2 different cameras because one of them was running out of space, and so it kind of cut out on me. So it's going to look like it's jumping from one scene to another, but you'll get the gist of it. So again, don't use this video to learn how to pressure can because some of the stuff is missing in it, and I don't want you to blow yourself up, you know what I mean? So anyway, we'll catch you guys later. Peace.